views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of Let's Talk Sports with Rick and Jack. My friend Jack, how are you?
Wonderful, sir.
Wonderful, good?
Yes.
I see you got your Island Fin pokey tuna on again. You promoting these? I asked you last week. They must be paying you now. You got the hat on. You promoted them 2 weeks in a row.
They take
By the
care
way,
of
their
me.
food's fabulous. I've had it several times.
Plus, I wanted to not have a glare.
Why, you just shaved the head? Let's see. Take it off for a second. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, folks.
Sorry, folks. Anyways, Island Fin pokey.
Best pokey in town.
Best pokey in town. Vegas and lots of towns in Florida.
Worcester, Massachusetts.
All over.
Supposed to be opening 4 in January.
Go out and check it out. They have 2 of them in Vegas, but it is really good. Really fresh fish, but we're here to talk about sports.
Yes, sir.
And we got a lot to talk about.
Lots
What's
to talk
happening
about.
with, I mean, we got too much sports. NBA starts
tonight. Yes, a little bit messy. Of course, they want to drum up some ratings, so we have Golden State playing the Nets, and then we have, Clippers and Lakers. It's supposed to be a showdown tonight. Can't wait to see.
Oh, it should be a couple of good games.
Yes.
I think the Clippers are going to win tonight. They're tired of being beat up in L.A. and being the stepchild, and the Lakers winning the championship, and them being told of how poor they were in the bubble. And I think the Clippers will show up tonight and win that game. Lakers are favored by 3.
But it doesn't matter who
I think
wins.
Brooklyn will win easy against Golden State.
It doesn't matter who wins tonight at the end of the season, as long as it ends with a ring. Like last season,
Well, did you see the early rankings?
Yes.
Lakers first, Clippers second, right? Clippers are 5-1 to win it all.
Yes, I saw that, and I'm like, one of the things that Kawhi, I went back and just see like their reaction, post reaction of the bubble, and the thing that they kept on, both Kawhi and Paul George kept talking about was the they didn't gel. They didn't have time to gel. Like, if we are sleeping in the same hotels, we're waking up, playing basketball, so now we're going to go back home and we're going to gel? So then why does a team like the Lakers do that? And, you have Giannis, he said, he mentioned something about being in the bubble, away from family and all that stuff. And I'm like,
you're grown men.
Oh, man, like, we're here to play basketball.
You're grown men. They're making big money and didn't have to spend it because they were home, while their wives and girlfriends were probably spending it while they were in the bubble. But, we got 72 games to play. As I said, we're going to have an NBA show. We love NBA. And so we're going to talk a lot more. This is game number 1 of 72. So enjoy the season. We'll talk more. And as football winds down, NFL winds down, we'll get more and more into the NBA. I'll be curious to, after 1 week, we'll talk about it again next week, what we see, prominent trends in the NBA. But let's get on to some college football. Some good games over the weekend. How did it all evolve for you? I mean, there's a lot of angst in the air. You got Dabo Swinney putting Ohio State number 11 in the coaches poll.
And you know what?
And they're playing each other. Boy,
and
that's
agree.
on the Ohio State bulletin board.
And I agree. I agree.
That's fine. But I don't think it's a smart move. He knows it's a smart move. He's a great coach. He wanted to rile Ohio State up, which he did. Let's see what happens when they play each other. But give me a quick overview of what you thought of this last weekend and
so
what we got ahead of us here with this college football and all these bowl games.
One of the things that we called out and we already knew was going to happen. We knew Oregon was going to go in there and going to dominate a USC, but
easy money, by the way. We both predicted that.
But it cost them a game, a bowl game, by not showing up to win.
USC has no bowl game.
No bowl game.
The Trojans of USC have no bowl game, and they were out coached and outplayed exactly
But we called it. We knew it was going to happen.
Well, they were so out physical. Those Oregon State defensive backs were pounding on those great receivers of USC, pounding on that quarterback Slovis. That was easy money.
Easy money. And one of my biggest disappointments over the weekend was the way Northwestern came out playing that first half and did not continue playing that same way in the second half. And I was, pretty going into halftime. I was licking my chops because I put a little coin on it.
Yeah.
And then by the third quarter, I'm like, ooh, and you of course you're texting me telling me, you still have time trying to.
Oh yeah.
But you already know.
I knew it was going to happen. I'm texting my good friend saying, you bet on this game and don't give up yet. It's plenty of game
early.
yet, and it's still early.
And the more I'm watching, the more I see it
Ohio
fading
State
away.
went by more. I said, well, they still got a chance, but listen, if you can't stop Trey Sermon's great game, 336 yards rushing. Actually, he could have gone for 500 yards. Ohio State in the first half, the problem was they were trying to force throwing the football. They were dead set on throwing the football, and it was not successful. Just the first drive of the game, they gave it to Sermons every time. And, they didn't end up scoring, but the bottom line is that Northwestern line could not stop. And we talked about that. We said that they aren't going to be able to stop the Ohio State defense. And again, that score should have been a lot worse than it was, in my opinion. Ohio State won the game. They get number 3 spot, as we talked about.
And I don't think they deserve it.
And a lot of people don't think they deserve it.
No. And then some people are saying that Notre Dame does not belong. They don't belong, including yourself. But here's the thing. The one loss they have, who is it from?
Clemson.
Okay, Clemson's one loss. Who is it from?
Notre Dame.
So then what's the difference? They beat up on each other. Is it the way the game was? The first game differs from the second one. At the end of the day, they've been in top 4 all season long. So them beating up on each other, why does one deserve to be not in there? Unless you went in with like a Clemson that would have 2 L's if they had lost this weekend. No, but all they did was swap wins or swap losses.
And again, to me, that was the second easiest bet of the weekend after the USC-Oregon game. Listen, this is how I feel about it. If Notre Dame shows up and loses barely, great. Clemson could have won by 40 or more. The thing about it is the first game, they were not at full strength, Clemson. When you're missing 2 of your best defensive players, your linebacker, a defensive lineman.
And your quarterback.
You're missing Trevor Lawrence. And your quarterback, who's the Heisman Trophy winner. Not just your quarterback. So Notre Dame, they were both at full strength. Clemson beat them down, out-physicaled them, outplayed them, out-everything them, out-guessed them. Guess what? Clemson is a legit team. Clemson can go up against an Alabama, and it's going to be a great game. And Clemson has a great chance to win. The thing about it is, when you get beat that bad, your strength of schedule for Notre Dame was okay. It was okay. The ACC is an okay conference. When Notre Dame drops out of it after this year, you still got only Clemson. Who else is any good in that conference? Come on. So I believe Notre Dame doesn't belong. I believe Texas A&M belongs.
Oh, now they do?
Well,
I've been saying that for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, but Ohio State, as far as I'm concerned, I'm about talent. They're one of the best teams in the country. It's not their fault they had to have a couple games canceled. It's not Ohio State's fault. It's not the coach's fault. It's not the players' fault. It happened. They had to cancel games. Guess what? It's a tough time. Because of the tough time, I'm going to give them a hall pass and say they're one of the 4 best teams. So to me, the 4 best teams, Alabama, Clemson, Texas A&M.
So you're saying that we should,
Ohio State.
Based on the current situation, we should have made adjustment. So
they did make an adjustment.
Yes. So then why not make an adjustment to include more teams? So like you say
that's another
a Texas A&M. No, you're saying you're giving hall passes based on the current situation. So that should have been the hall pass that should have been given to include more teams. And then based on this.
I like that, but that's not the current.
No, but you say giving hall passes. Now we're changing the rules.
Yeah.
They changed it in the Big Ten. They're changing rules.
More games. I am all for more games. I am all for 8 teams. But again, you get down to the funny little thing about 8 teams. I'm listening to Joey Galloway on ESPN going on about how Cincinnati can play with any team in America. You're wrong, dude. You're totally wrong. And you're going to see it in this bowl game they're going to play. They're going to get beat. Who do they play? Who does Cincinnati play? With him talking this about how good they are.
I believe Cincinnati is
going to have a pretty
Georgia.
good Georgia will
Georgia
will beat Cincinnati easily. Joey Galloway. Georgia will beat Cincinnati easily.
The same Georgia that disappointed us this year.
Georgia lost some tough games. We thought they were good early. They were highly ranked.
Yes.
When Georgia made the change at quarterback, they brought in the kid from USC who left SC because he was going to play behind Keenan Slovis. So T.J. Daniels, he was at SC. He was the future of SC. He gets hurt. Slovis comes in. Slovis quarterback. He transfers to Georgia. A good quarterback from Mater Dei High School in Southern California. When he got in there, Georgia started winning because they got a reliable quarterback. Think about the teams that really win at the top. Reliable, really good quarterbacks. I mean, that's why Notre Dame was good this year. Ian Book is a great quarterback. He had 4 great years. But I don't believe Notre Dame belongs. I believe Ohio State belongs, and I believe Texas A&M belongs now. After that game, before that, I didn't believe it. They still got it right, but, you know, does Notre Dame-Alabama game, what does it do for you? Is Notre Dame going to be competitive?
They have to be.
Against Alabama?
Yeah.
Did you see that offense?
They need to stop that rush and the other 33% in the wide receiver.
I mean, Jones.
Yeah.
Jones at quarterback. Najee Harris is a man against boys.
Five touchdowns. Did you see that?
He's going to be the next Derrick Henry in the NFL.
You think so?
I do.
You don't think he's?
Najee Harris is a bad man.
My problem with the Alabama quarterbacks is.
What do you have? 5 touchdowns?
Yeah, 5 touchdowns.
And then Smith had 5. Was that correct?
Yes.
I don't remember the totals, but Smith, again, a kid that's unbelievable. He really is a legitimate Heisman candidate. He's going to be one of the Final 4. Who's going to be your Final 4 Heisman Trophy candidates? We're going to see it. It's coming up. It was already voted yesterday. It's coming up. Who's your Final 4?
I don't even want to go 4. I want to say 3. And the problem. So Lawrence, right? So automatically put him in there.
Okay.
And then you have Jones.
Of course.
And then right now, Harris just showed why he should be in consideration.
It won't happen.
But they're going to steal votes from each other in that sense.
Well, it's going to be Smith. Smith and Mac Jones are the 2 guys from Alabama that are going to be in the Heisman final. It's not going to be Najee Harris. He'll get some votes, but he's not going to be prominent. I mean, it's going to come down to Lawrence, Jones, Smith, both from Alabama, who are going to steal votes from each other. They're going to take each other's votes.
So then who else?
Which is going to offset.
So then who's that?
Trask is number 4. There's not going to be 3 guys from Alabama. Number 4 is Trask.
I guess.
Number 5 is Ian Book from Notre Dame. Number 6, Najee Harris.
Wow, you put him in 6 despite him.
Hey, it's the way it happens.
Do you think they'll leave it?
In my opinion, Smith should win the Heisman Trophy, but it'll never happen.
But that's what I was going to ask you. Or do you think they're going to go not quarterback?
No, of course not. Trevor Lawrence is your winner. It's going to be, in my opinion, Lawrence number 1, Trask number 2, Jones number 3, and Smith number 4. But those are the 4 guys that are going to show up for the show. I guess it's a virtual show this year, but
so with Mac Jones has what, 1,000 yards more than Lawrence, and you're going to automatically give it to Lawrence?
Lawrence missed 2 games.
Yes, exactly. So is it
If Trevor
Mac
Lawrence
Jones
plays both those games, he is by far the most prolific, accurate, successful, best runner of all those quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence is, in my opinion, is in a class of his own.
Absolutely, but
watch when they go to the NFL. You think Mac Jones is going to have a good NFL career?
It's not that. Look at when people say that, we're not talking about NFL. They're not playing in the NFL. They're playing in college. Tim Tebow is probably the best college football player of all time.
Well, he's up there.
And guess what? He was not good in the NFL. But when he was in college, I was tuned into every game that he played.
He was exciting.
So you can't say, oh, why? How is he gonna transform to the next level? No. What are you doing now? Yeah. How are you dominating your field and at your position?
Yeah. Well, anyways, it's going to be exciting. We'll know the votes soon. We'll be able to talk about it in the next show. But for me, it's going to be Lawrence, and we got some exciting bowl games coming up. But we're going to talk a lot more college football over the next couple of weeks. But let's take a quick break. Have everybody cool off a little bit. Wipe the sweat off your face, and the intensity about this college football situation. Everybody has an opinion maker. We're going to take a quick break. Thanks for watching. Pay a few bills. We'll be right back at you. Stay tuned. We got a lot more great action on this sports show. Rick and Jack, thank you.
Bob Allen Golf has a full tour shop for all of your repairs, including re-gripping, reshafting, loft and lie adjustments, whatever you need. Bob has the only full swing simulator in Las Vegas. Get your next set of golf clubs custom fit right here at Bob Allen Golf, located at 6415 South Fort Apache, Las Vegas, 89148. With Bob Allen Golf, your game is in the bag.
Thank you for coming back with us. We threw some cold water on each other and calmed down over this whole college football thing. There's a lot of issues here, man. Who should be in, who should be out, Heisman Trophy, who should win, who should be second. But, thank you for your opinions. They're awesome. We could talk about college football for the next 3 hours, and fortunately we got some great bowl games coming up we'll talk about next week and get into that. And we'll get more into, we got plenty of time to talk it as the games come up and as we come up to the 1st of January. It's going to be exciting. So next week's show, we'll get more into it. But we want your opinions. Continue to like the show, follow us, share it. What do you guys think? I mean, what do you think about this? Who is the top 4? Who is your 4 that should have been in? Who should win the Heisman Trophy? Who should be out? Who should be in? What do you think about, somebody saying that Cincinnati should be in there? Cincinnati, you got to be kidding me, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, great year, but just look at the conference they play in. And when they play Georgia in the bowl game, we'll settle up. We'll level up about that. But
Cincinnati, somebody should check his coffee cup.
Hey, Joey Galloway went on, and everybody at the table. The funny thing is, the camera's on people. I watch all the other guys while the comments are made, and I'm looking like they're looking at each other like, is this guy serious?
Like, look, who do you have in your cup?
Cincinnati should be number 6. The top 6, they had it right. And if you watch football, even though Oklahoma lost 2 games, Oklahoma got better every week. This was a young team, a freshman quarterback, lost a lot of talent, lost Jalen Hurt, lost C.D. Lamb, great offense. They had to get everything together. That team is as good as anybody in the country, and I would not want to play anybody in this country. I would not want to play Oklahoma.
So who's going
to?
So if you're saying that, what do you think Florida is saying right now? You think they have to basically they have
Florida's as good as offense as anybody. Trask is incredible, but Florida's running
you're
game
saying
is not that good.
You don't want to play. Any team shouldn't want to play.
You don't want to play Florida either. And they're playing each other.
That's actually going to be a good game. I want to see that game.
To me, it's the best bowl game. It's going to be the most competitive best bowl game. But anyways, again, we could talk about this all day long. Give us your opinions. Like our show. Follow it, please. We want your opinion. Now, we get heated here about it because it's great to have different opinions. Jack believes that we, in a weird year, we should have opened it up to 8 because it's a weird year anyway with so many canceled games and problems and COVID and Ohio State not playing. And I know you're very adamant about it should have been an 8-team tournament, which they could have done.
Yeah, and this is the year that you're going to say we're going to experiment due to current situation. And if it works, boom, we can move on it. We can move on for it. And if it doesn't work, this is why we only have 4. Done. And you end the conversation.
And it's open-mindedness. It's just like Major League Baseball. What did they do? They changed the rules because of the year, and they say, this is the only year we're going to do it, just like extra inning games. You, in an extra inning game, automatically put a guy on second base to start the inning. No outs, you got a guy on second. Because they changed the rules to see what would happen instead of having these long extra inning games. They also said if a relief pitcher came in, he had to face minimum three batters. So if he was getting lit up for 1, 2, and 3, they had to keep him in there. So that was a great rule. Only a limited amount of visits to the mound. So I got to give Major League, and they opened up playoffs. They had expanded their playoffs, Major League Baseball. It was fun. There were more teams. So that's open-mindedness. That's an open-minded organization, Major League Baseball. College football is like this, straight down the middle of the road, and you're not going to change this. And most of those guys running that thing are 80 years old anyways.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You do need to open it up. Follow what Major League Baseball did. I was proud of them, and not everybody loves baseball anymore. It's a long game.
But for a league like that, like MLB, to, you know, for tradition is everything for Major League
Right.
Baseball, and then for them to do that, but it all comes down from the leadership. Where with the NCAA, it's a committee. It's a top five. Like, all of this is too much. There's no one person making the decision and going across, and then it has to go down to the ADs, and it's
too much one way.
Yes,
and there's too much influence. Again, you look at Major League Baseball and the changes they made, and again, they said it's a one-year deal. When they go to the winter meetings with all the owners, they're going to make some more changes. So, I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I really love the baseball playoffs. Man, we would really love the football playoffs. Why not make some of these games, you know, like a Florida-Oklahoma? Come on, man. Why not make that one of the championship games? That's a championship game right there, Florida-Oklahoma. Watch Georgia play. They'll impress you. They're a much improved football team. These are two lost football teams, Oklahoma and Georgia. But guess what? You've got to account for what happens at the end of the year. And I just think that, you know, my major thing with Cincinnati that believes that they belong with the Final Eight. The bottom line is that they really don't. And if you want to get there, play some teams. Play Oklahoma, play Florida, play Alabama, play some of these great teams. Stop playing MAC conference teams. Stop playing the MAC conference. So anyways, I mean, we're going to talk more about this. We could go on for several hours, and this is a 30-minute show. So let's talk about a couple other things. What's going on with college basketball? Anything changing? It's pretty much the guys at the top.
It's the guys at the top, and I don't know, do we really need to, like, in a sense, like, go into a bubble situation, like, especially with, as we want to say, it's months away, but with March Madness coming around the corner, do we want to switch it to a bubble where we don't have so many cancellation, and then now
so many games canceled?
How are we gonna? Where the invitations gonna go? Are we still gonna do 64 teams playing it? Like,
they're talking about a bubble.
It's ridiculous right now how many games are getting
go to
canceled.
Florida like the NBA did, and it'll be all those hotels and all those situations, and you know, very, 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 very. The NBA did a great job in the bubble, and I'm sure college basketball will.
I must
But
say.
who's going to again win enough games to get it and all this stuff? I don't know.
And again,
College basketball's a bit of a mess too.
it is. But maybe they can learn to see what hockey did, what MLB did, and what NBA did, and they were successful at it.
Yeah, I hope they are, because people love it.
Because I want to see the next generation of talent, what they do. Like, right now, it's even like hard to even like get it. They can't even, I guess, promote specific games because they don't know. Like,
Yeah. It's tough week to week. Games
like going down Tobacco Road. Like, when is that game gonna be? Like,
yeah. But you know, it's funny because you look at a team like Kentucky, and they just, because of some problems, put one of their major players off of the team. That just was announced last night, Calipari, that Kentucky is parting ways with one of those young guys that came in. His name is Cam. I don't remember the last name, but he's out. I mean, Duke isn't playing very well. I mean, the two teams at the top are superior. Gonzaga, I think, won by 40 points last night. I know they didn't play anybody. Baylor continues to win big. Those are the two top teams. You know, Villanova's in there this year. West Virginia's playing well. Wisconsin's playing well. So Michigan State, of course, but, you know, they've lost a game now. So it's tough on these kids mentally.
Absolutely.
And again, the ones that stay the strongest, they're going to be there at the end. Talent and mental strength goes a long way in sports right now because of the situation.
I agree.
So, yeah.
And again, it's gonna, like, my favorite time for college basketball is right around March Madness. You know, that's when I actually like to just go to the casino, watch, and put a few coins in a couple of games. And I like, you know, I like betting the underdogs and stuff. So, because you never know. I like Cinderella.
Yeah, it's fun. And Cinderella the tournament's so great.
Yes.
The most outlandish things happen in the tournament. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the college basketball season and see what happens in March. It's not that far away.
No.
And then we got NBA going and starting, and we'll talk more about that as we go. We'll talk more college basketball. We really got it heating up in the NFL, and we'll talk more about that on our show. And again, we had an incredible week in the NFL. Our 3 main games we gave out, and we won again this week. So we'll talk more about that on our NFL show. Please watch it. Please like this show. Please enjoy it. Give us some ideas of things you'd like us to talk more about, whether it be UFC or skateboarding or skiing or the NASCAR season coming up. We like to talk all subjects. We're pretty knowledgeable about it, but right now it's real hot with college football and the NFL are real prolific, and NBA, it's just starting. You can't get too into it. Is anything you want to finish with on this show? Anything else you want to add? Any more opinions? You've given us plenty today, my brother.
Well,
anything else you want to make sure you get off your chest before we get off this show? Get off my lawn, brother.
Yeah.
You're like my neighbor. Get off my lawn, brother.
I like to say, you know what grinds my gears?
What? Go for it.
It's the NCAA, their lack of being able to adjust.
Oh, I know. Well, we just talked about it. I mean, it'd be like Major League Baseball, and I think you all agree with me on that. And we'd like to see some. We'd like to see
It's a top
more.
five.
We'd like to see more tournament football in the NCAA. We really would.
It's a top 5 conference. They run everything, and they want to make sure that they're represented all the time.
The Power 5.
Yes.
Well,
So let's give out at least one of the bowl games. What about Friday? You have
what do we got on Friday?
or Friday we have Marshall and Buffalo.
I'll quickly give that out. Buffalo 3.5. I'll take Buffalo all day. And if you want to look at something else, well, by our show next week, another game next Tuesday is Colorado, Texas. Texas given 13. Texas will win by 21 or more. What do you think of those 2 games?
I like it, and I'm really on this Coastal Carolina bandwagon, and I think it might be a scrappy win with Liberty, despite them being favored for almost a touchdown at 6.5.
Yeah.
But I like Coastal Carolina with that one too.
Yeah, and there is one game that the show isn't going to air before the particular game tonight. BYU versus Central Florida. BYU minus 4.5. BYU will win that game easily. BYU is a pretty good football team, and they were in the mix early. But, a lot of fun stuff. NFL, thanks for watching. Continue to watch the show. Please like it. Please tell your friends about it. It's got a lot of great information, just like our NFL show. We're really, really proud of that show also. We're proud of this show. Continue to watch. Continue to like, share it. Join up at WWDBTV. We got a great, great TV station here. Become part of our audience. Become part of our fans. And please get in contact with us through Mr. John Stiles, producer here at WWDBTV. He will forward any information or any comments you have to us, and we'd love to have some debates with you all. So thanks for watching. God bless.
Hit that notification button.
Yes, please. Continue to watch. Again, like the show. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Have a merry, merry Christmas. Enjoy your games. Hopefully you make up the money you lost on Christmas gifts on some of these bets. There's money to be made, I'll tell you that. Bet the Clippers tonight. God bless. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.